I've tried, written down the words to say. It is time. I've been waiting 5 days to explain how you make me feel inside. Baby, got it all figured out. Wanna do this right. There's no doubt in my mind. Baby, you're the one. And tonight I am going all the way. The way you touch my hair, it all goes away. The things I planned, the things I would say. Now I keep rambling on. I sound so cliche. What I am trying to do is say I love you. And all the things that you do. Sounds like a fool, 'cause when you touch my hair, the words goes away. What I am trying to do is say I love you. You don't know how I shiver inside. Doesn't show, but my nerves are inside out. It's because you're not worth less than perfection. Ooh, thought it was in my hands. Now I'm all confused, turning gold into sand. Don't know what you do to me. All I know is you can take my breath away. Yeah, this way you touch my hair, it all goes away. The things I planned, the things I would say. Now I keep rambling on. I sound so cliche. What I am trying to do is say I love you. And all the things that you do. Sounds like a fool, 'cause when you touch my hair, the words goes away. What I am trying to do is let you know that when you touch my hair, it all just goes away. The things I plan to say. Oh baby, what I am trying to do is let you know that when you touch my hair, it all goes away. The things I plan, the things I would say. Now I keep rambling on. I sound so cliche. What I am trying to do is say I love you. And all the things that you do. I'm so in love with you. It sounds like
Testing, testing. Are we good? Awesome. So we got one seat available right here. We no longer have one seat available right here. What about these seats? Are they taken? We have 2 seats available right here. 2 seats. 2 seats. These are the high dollar seats. You don't get the front row spit. You just get all the good details. So we have 1 seat. Still have 1 seat available. Awesome. Do you have a seat there, Melissa? Is there a seat there for you? They're going to get you a chair. So let's make sure you have a chair to sit right there. We have 1 seat available here, and we have 1 seat available here. What about this? Oh, that's you. All right, Carol, you got your seat. Not good. I almost gave your seat away. Okay, we have 2 solo seats. There's 1 seat here, 1 seat there. We're getting in here. This is working. We might just leave it there because Chris may actually use it. All right. We got 1 seat available. There's 1 seat here available. 1 seat here. There's still 1 seat here. There we go. We got the covers coming off the back windows now. So they'll be able to see and hear there. Someone's got to remove a glass pane. Someone just throw a rock or throw a cell phone. Break that window. Still have 1 seat right here. 1 seat right here. All right. One seat. Vaughn or Donna, there's one seat available if one of you want it. Donna, do you want a seat? That could work. Vaughn and Donna, you both have a seat. Right here. All right. So the stockings can sit right here. Okay, perfect. Thank you, Candace. Thanks.
I've been so many places. I've seen them.
All right.
Open eyes.
Do we still have one seat here next to Riley? Nope, it's spoken for. Awesome.
Silence, open spaces.
Very good.
Yet a sun slowly rise.
Okay, this is really good.
All these memories
We're squeezing them in.
near me when I
Hey, Chris, Chris Crone, are you gonna use that whiteboard?
But there's one place.
We'll leave it there just in case.
Take me
It's like we could take it out of here if you wanted.
place where I come from.
We're good.
Place where I really belong.
Everyone's awake at least, right?
It seems
And if anyone falls asleep, you just kind of tip your head. You're not going to fall over. You're just going to rest your head on the shoulder of the person next to you. And usually when I speak, people fall asleep. So feel free. I won't be offended. I think we got a record. I've never seen this many people in this room. Ever. This is, what's that? We have promoters. That's right. Yeah. This is great. Whoa. I can feel that air conditioner just in my mind. I can feel it in my imagination. Yeah, this would be a good time to do the ice water challenge for everybody. All right. So we ready to get rolling, you think? We got to find Carson to get back here to start us up. Then we'll go. Oh, there's Carson. Oh, good. Okay, good. Okay, Carson, tell me when we're ready to roll, and you can turn the music down, and we'll go whenever you're ready. You should take a picture of this. You'll never see it again. All right. Look at that. Are we rolling, Carson? Okay, we're live streaming now, folks. Okay, real quickly, you don't need to get up, but just kind of turn your head and look back at that glass wall and see that hallway there. I feel like I am in a lethal injection room, and all the innocent people are out there, and we're all going to get, put to sleep. So if you're out there, you're safe. If you're in here, I'm just going to say you're safe. You're not going to remember it in 15 minutes anyway. So I really want to welcome everyone here. We have really set a record of human beings being in a room that is fire coded for 40 people. So congratulations to you 40. Congratulations to you 40 for being in this room. And we're really excited to be sharing some information with you tonight. Just so you know, this is being streamed live, and there's people all over the country watching tonight, but it's also being streamed live out in the foyer. They set up a TV, and there's a chunk of them out there sitting in air-conditioned comfort, and you guys are in here. So but you're in the right spot. You're in the right place. So I really want to welcome you all here. My name is Gary Norris. I have been a promoter of Limitless and Strongbrook Real Estate for 6 years. I've been a fan of this company that Chris Crone and his partners have put together, Stephen Miller, Kevin Clayson, Steve Earle. And when I found this company 5 going on 6 years ago now, this has been 6 years, I really thought I have found someone that was legit, a company that helps people do real estate. And not only that, they actually freaking do real estate for people in a way that I had never seen before in my 15 years experience as an investor. And so I've been really impressed with what they've been doing. And I'm very pleased and honored to be one of the people that helps create and facilitate some of the creative real estate investing opportunities and strategies that you're going to hear a little bit about tonight. So tonight is really sponsored by the Limitless Real Estate Community. If there's people in the Limitless Real Estate Community in this room, raise your hand. So you got some good representation in this room, people that are already in the Limitless Real Estate Community. The Limitless Real Estate Community is a community of like-minded investors that were out there in the weeds looking for opportunities and deals, creatively doing real estate without necessarily our money and without necessarily our credit. Creative real estate, such as finding homes and flipping homes, doing short sales, doing homes that are seller financing, lease options, find a home and then rent it out to someone else with the right to buy it, and you can cash flow along the way. We have opportunities where people partner on deals and go out there and flip homes. People put up the money. Other people may put up the acquisition money to buy the home. Someone else may put up the money to fix the home. Someone else may come up and say, I'll do the work on the home, and partnerships are created. Not just here in Utah. We have people in the Limitless Real Estate community from all over the country. We did our training call today, which is one of the things we do every week, Tuesdays at noon. We had people from New York, Nebraska, Iowa, Utah, California, Idaho, and Washington State on the call today. They're from all over. It's an amazing community. The Limitless Real Estate community is sponsoring tonight. But what I want you to know, you're all here to hear from a particular person, is that right? Not Gary Norris, right? So you sit down, Gary, where's Chris Crone? That's who we're here to hear from. So I'm going to bring Chris up in a minute, but for the next hour, no, I'm just kidding. But for a few minutes, we're going to I want to introduce somebody to you and just let you know what the Limitless Real Estate community is. This is our official Limitless Real Estate community wheeling and dealing networking night, where normally on a monthly basis, sometimes weekly, we get together and we meet as investors with friends, either people that are paid members of the community and their friends or associates to get together and network, wheel and deal actual deals. We won't be doing that tonight. We have too much ground to cover, but we normally get up here and actually wheel and deal. Passing deals, analyzing deals, masterminding deals, brainstorming deals, and networking with each other. So a couple things I want to do just to whet your appetite, to let you just open your mind to possibility. No one needs to get up. I just want hands raised when you feel what I ask is fitting for you. I like to do this because some people say, well, I'm not a real estate investor. I don't know anyone. Or I don't have credit. Or I don't have money. Or I don't know where the deals are. Or I don't have the time if I did find a deal. And there's always someone else sitting in the room saying, well, I have the money. Or someone else is like, well, I don't have the money, but I have the credit. Someone else might be saying, I don't have money or credit, but I've got time. I can go out there and beat the streets, pound the pavement, hit the bushes. And some other people, I've got skills. I can do rehab. I can do construction. I can do landscaping. I can lay tile. I just want, by a show of hands, every time it fits you, raise your hand, and everyone else just kind of notice. If you are in real estate investing, by a show of hands, who has invested in real estate in the past or currently investing? And just look around, see the hands that go up. Okay, thank you. Who in this room has thought about investing in real estate but never quite done it yet? Okay, good number of hands. Who in this room lives in a home? Who lives in a van down by the river? Okay, a few honest people. Okay, Bryce, I'm sure it's not you. I did that once. There literally were people they live in a van down by the river, and they own real estate. And my daughter could be classified as one of those. She lives in my basement, yet she owns homes. She's moocher. No, I'm just kidding. She's awesome. She's out there and can't defend herself. She's pushing the poison button behind the wall. So raise your hand if you have money to invest or access to money. Look around the room. You have money to invest or access to money. Okay, raise your hand if you have time to put in on doing grunt work or looking and searching for deals. Okay, look around the room. Who's raising their hands? These are people you might want to network with. Okay, who in this room has credit but no way to put it to use? They have good credit, they just never have done a deal with it. Okay, few of them. So as you look around the room and you see people with credit, people with time, people with money, people with, raise your hand. The whole room's raised, trust me. Raise your hand if you have skills that you can participate in fixing a home up. Any type of skills. Okay. Raise your hand if you're a real estate agent. Okay. A few. Raise your hand if you're a real estate broker. Any brokers? Okay, raise your hand if you're a lawyer. Any lawyers? Okay, I can keep talking. No lawyers in the room. So, paralegal? Can you please make a path for her to step out? No, I'm just kidding, Candace. So my point is, the Limitless Real Estate community, we're all about putting a community of like-minded people together, not just locally, but nationally, where you can find opportunities and do deals. Do deals. That's an amazing opportunity. I'm just going to name off the 4 main things that we focus on. We're all about training and education, creative real estate. Number 1, we do a weekly call every week. It's recorded and it's posted on our community Facebook group page. We do a monthly training. Tomorrow is our February training in this room at 9 a.m. We do a quarterly 3-day training where for every quarter for 3 days we dive deep and we bring in experts, investors to teach, train, and mentor on creative real estate. That's quarterly. And then 4th, which is really the all-encompassing one, is we have a community Facebook group page that's private to only members of the Limitless Real Estate community, where you get on that Facebook page and you have access to coaches, mentors, and each other to partner, to ask questions, to share your opportunities, and to look for help. That's 24/7 access to an active community investors. Who would find value in having access to something like that? Who has access to that right now? Okay, there should have been more hands that went up the first time because you all that are in it have access who would like to also have that access. It really is a powerful thing. So what I want to do is, before we turn time over to Chris, I just want to introduce one special guest that we have here tonight, who is our newest trainer for the Limitless Real Estate community. She will be actually training tomorrow on investing using tax lien investing. Melissa Bloxham is a lady that has a national name of recognition as an investor, as a coach, as a mentor, and a trainer. I knew of her 10 years ago. More than 10 years ago, 12 years ago in 2005. I had heard her name. I got to meet her in 2007. Neither one of us probably remember that first time we met, but we've been able to stay semi-connected for a dozen years. And now she is the newest trainer and facilitator for the Limitless Real Estate community, and she's very versed in coaching people, in teaching tax liens and short sales and lease options and subject to investing and helping people put together their plan of action. And what I want to do really quickly is just let her come up and just share for a minute anything that you would feel like, or I can pass the microphone back to you and you can share from there, but because there's really no way to move. But let's make sure I just want to give you a chance, Melissa, to say hi to everyone. And she will be our featured trainer tomorrow morning from 10 to noon during our one-day training event. Can you pass this down to Melissa and give her a warm welcome with a round of applause?
Well, thanks, Gary. I appreciate that. And I just wanted to let you know a little bit about myself. I've been in the industry for 20 plus years now and have been really excited about the things that have been going on with real estate. I've been investing in real estate for a long time and started when I was at the ripe old age of 20 investing. And so really excited to be the trainer tomorrow for you guys and and anybody that's going to be able to be there. But just wanted to tell you a little bit about where I started out. I started out investing myself. I started fixing and flipping houses and doing a lot of the tax sales. And as time went on, I started becoming a coach and a trainer, and doing speaking engagements for 300 plus in the room at a time. And now I'm more involved with, obviously, with Strongbrook, and also being able to be out on the East Coast. I've been on the East Coast for about 10 years and just barely came back to the West, and have been helping clients acquire hotels, restaurants, large office space buildings. So I've kind of gone from the one stepping point to the next, and really excited to share what I have to offer. So thank you.
Okay, thank you, Melissa, very much. So I just really, I'm grateful that when she came back to the west side of America, that she was smart enough to reach out and come and approach Chris and Strongbrook and the Limitless and see what we're doing. And we're really excited to have you as part of our team. And again, thank you for being here tonight so we can introduce you to people. And we look forward to hearing from you tomorrow in your training. So with that, the moment you've all been waiting for, of course, I want to turn some time over to what I consider one of my very good friends, one of my mentors, and someone that has a true, pure heart of passion when it comes to people, their personal development, and their wealth creating opportunities. And most of you know him, and if you're here as a guest and you haven't met the man named Chris Crone yet, you are in for a treat. Chris is the founder of Strongbrook. He's the founder of the Limitless Personal Development 3-day event, and he has invested and owned hundreds and hundreds of homes. He has approaching $1 billion portfolio that his company has done in real estate for their clients as well as for him personally. And he is rolling out an opportunity to where you have a chance and an opportunity, if you so chose, to be able to partner with him directly on acquiring single family homes that would be totally passive on your end, totally passive, for free. And that's why we have a crowd here that exceeds capacity, and that's why I want to turn the time over to Mr. Chris Crone. Give him a big hand.
Man, I made 2 mistakes this morning. The first one was when I went to the gym this morning with McLean. I already went to the sweatshop. We did the wet sauna for 15 minutes, and I feel like I'm on repeat because I think in about an hour we're all going to feel like we've been sitting at least in a dry sauna, right? Can you guys just turn down the heat a little bit? Just your body heat, right? Just, hold your breath. Also, I apologize. I don't normally wear a hat with a suit coat, but I obviously didn't do my hair this morning. I prepared for up to 4 p.m. today, and not for our 7 o'clock tonight. So can everyone also turn and just do a big shout out? We got about 30 people sitting in the lobby, and just say, hey! Now they're on a lag, so they're going to hear that in about 40 seconds. All right, I'm going to get a little bit more casual here. Is that okay? I'm already wearing a hat. Yeah. All right. It's going to be a warm one. I would love, before I go off into my rants and some concepts that I think will be valuable to share tonight, I would love to get just a couple of shout outs on what are you hoping for tonight? What did you come for? What are you hoping to learn about? 40 seconds. Go ahead.
Unlike probably most of the people here, I've done a lot of real estate investing until the crash. And a lot of things crashed in my life then. And it just felt to me like this might be my entrance to getting back into something that I'm excruciatingly good at, but in a different way.
Wow. Anyone else feel a little bit like Carol, like it might be time to jump back in and come and play and figure some things out? A couple of you here, give it up for Carol. Thank you for sharing. Awesome. If we do something together, I hope it's not excruciating. Just saying. It's I got a couple rules in life. One of them is no excruciatings. So what are some other intentions? Go ahead, Tyler. Ooh, build a business around this. How many of you, do you guys know that doing real estate is just a business? Do you get that? I'll never forget one of my mentors pulling me aside and he said, okay, Chris, you're young. Because at the time I was like 22 years old. And he said, Chris, you got this telemarketing job. You've got these big plans. You don't know how you're going to get anywhere you want to go in life. So let me just give you some advice. You mind if I share that advice with you? It was life-changing for me. He said, Chris, first thing you can do is you could make a widget, a $1 widget. And if you wanted to become a millionaire, you'd have to sell how many widgets? A million widgets. He says, that's a lot of work. I was like, yeah, sounding a million of anything sounds like it'd be a lot of work. That could take a lifetime or 2 or 5. And then he said, you could become a car salesman and maybe learn how to sell cars and make $2,000 a car. So if you want to be a millionaire, make $1 million in car sales, you wouldn't have to sell 1 million cars. You'd have to sell how many? Huh? 50,000 or is it 5,000? And one of those numbers. A whole lot less than 1 million, right? He says, but Chris, if you'd like to get into the highest level commodity that exists that every American can play in, it's real estate. And if you were to make $100,000 on a house, then how many units do you need to do to be a millionaire? Everyone do it with me right now. You guys ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 1 million. You almost got that. One more time. Ready? We're going to start with 8. 8, 9, 1 million. Awesome, right? We can all count to 10, right? You can count to 1 million really fast in real estate. So yeah, build a business around it. And how do you do it intelligently? We're going to talk about hard knocks real estate, and then we're going to talk about intelligent real estate. Awesome. A couple more intentions for tonight. Go ahead.
Life transformation.
Ooh, tell me about life transformation.
Working really hard all the time and not getting anywhere.
Oh, working really hard, not getting where you want to go. How many of you are looking for legitimate shortcuts to get where you want to go faster? Awesome. So these are really good intentions for tonight. I'm going to throw another one in there. Is anyone here because they heard that there was a way to potentially partner in real estate and purchase real estate even with no money and no credit? Is anyone here interested in that? Okay. I'm going to tell you just a little bit of my life story in only a couple few short minutes because I've got some things that I want to teach you and I want to get to as many bonuses as I can tonight. And I'm really going to try to keep it to, I'm not going to give you a time frame just in case I mess up. Most of you that have seen me or have known me in this last year, where would you have met me at? Limitless. And for those that don't know what Limitless is 3 days of what? It's 3 days of awesomeness, right? I've done seminars just everywhere, and I'll tell you that 3 days of Limitless is an event like you've never experienced before. That's my passion. Limitless is what I wanted to do. It's some concept I had in my mind over 10 years ago. And yet, I make so much of my wealth through what? I make my wealth through real estate. So I was retired, I'm 37. I was retired at the age of 26, just a year after graduating from college. Now, I got one of those sob stories where in college, I ran out of money, I went into debt, my wife was sad and disappointed, and basically, that was typical college kid scenario, right? In college, making no money. Anyone else know what that was like, by the way? I think many of us in this room probably have had moments in our life where we know what it feels like to work really hard, but have no transformation, not get where you want to go. How many of you know what that feels like? The slow path, right? By slow path, I mean incremental growth. Incremental growth means I made a certain amount this year. Next year, I hope to make a little bit more. And if I keep saving $5,000 and $10,000 a year, then hopefully in 30 years, I'll have saved some money. And the reality is we have in our society a crazy broken plan. Because what we're told to do with our money is go to college, get a piece of paper that says you're smart, and then work for somebody else for 30, 40 years. Hopefully it's a career you love. 87% of you hate what you do. And then if you've worked an entire lifetime, when you get to retirement, how much money do you need to have a simple retirement of even just, let's just call it $8,000 a month. Like who would like to retire and at least make $100,000 a year? It's not a lot of money, is it? It's not what it used to be. $1 million's not what it used to be. And yet, do you know how much money you would need to save according to any financial planner, putting your money in some type of annuitized device, making 3, 4, 5%? Do you know how much money you would need for a simple retirement like that? You'd need at least $2 million. Now, break $2 million over a 40-year working life, and let me just ask you, who is saving that kind of money? Are any of you saving 6 figures a year? Yeah. So the weird thing is, we're told to do things with our money, and it doesn't make sense because it's guaranteed to not get you where you need to go. But what do? We keep doing the same plan, right? I was fortunate in my youth. You know, I was a college kid, and I had this opportunity to interview people telemarketing on the phone all day that were in their 40s, 50s, 60s, and 70s, and I saw these patterns. The 40-year-olds had been 15 years prior to college. They got their degree. And you know what? When you're in your 20s, are you really caring about saving money? No. When you're in your 30s, what are you busy doing? Making babies and raising kids and getting obligations, right? Houses and cars and things like that. What happens when you are then in your 40s and 50s? You're still chasing, finding a desperate way to get out of that 4-letter word debt. And then when you start getting in your 60s and you have like the reality check, the reality is that most of us come retirement, we got $50,000 to a couple $100,000 to our name if we're lucky. And maybe you're one of the lucky ones that get your house paid off. Can you retire on a paid off house? Can you eat your bricks? No, you cannot eat your bricks. So what are you going to have to do when you finally made the big achievement of having everything paid off and you can't retire on no debt? You have to sell your house. You got to get a reverse mortgage. And how long is that going to last? Just a few more years. And then we got to say, thank you, modern medicine, for keeping me around for another 30, right? Okay, so it's a real problem. It's a real predicament. And I know many of you, if you've seen me at Limitless, you're like, wow, Chris, I've never seen a whole lot of this side of you. Because the reality is I have a crazy passion for real estate and for business and for making money for one reason. I got a purpose to live, and I'm not going to waste it chasing money. I'm not going to sell my life like a prostitute, doing things that don't produce the joy and fulfillment that I want, which means that we've got to get smarter. We got to get what? Smarter. And we got to get more intelligent. We got to get what? More intelligent. Which means that we got to find a way to tap into real opportunities. I'm talking about real opportunities. And there's nothing more real than real estate. How is real estate real? You can touch it, right? All right. So what I want to do is I want to just share with you. Some of you are like, I don't know if I understand this whole thing about real estate, but I want to share some ideas briefly on it. And I want to share what's happened in my life because of it. And I'll make it really relevant. 4 homes have sold in the last 30 days. I'll just tell you about a couple of them. One of these homes was the second home I ever got in Pleasant Grove. So everyone here knows where that is, right? Just down the street. Pleasant Grove, 1100 North, 77 East, busy road. I bought that house because my mentor gave me real estate education. Gave me what? And he taught me about a lease option. Taught me about a what? So with what I learned, I went into the marketplace and I found a house that was worth well over $200,000. I got it for under $150,000. Now, the moment that happened, by the way, is young kid, right? 23 years old. What happens if you buy a house worth over 200 and you pay less than 150? What happens to your net worth? You have $50,000 of equity. By the way, is that cool for a kid making 20 grand a year? That's crazy cool for a kid because, now, by the way, equity, you can't eat that either. It's just a number on paper. But a year later, that second home bought my third home. You know how I even got the money to buy my second home? My first home. You know where I got the money to buy my first home? No, it took me 14 months of saving when I was just dirt crazy poor. And I had to save up $5,000 and it would take me 14 months to do it. And that bought my first home, bought my second home. That home bought my third home. Well, that home that I'm selling right now, I was able to get into that home with less than $10,000 out of pocket, none of it my money. It's been cash flowing several $100s a month. And after all this time, it just sold. It sold for $282,000. And I actually been cashing it out along the way. So my next disbursement here, last 6 months ago, I got a $28,000 check on it. I think today they wired $60,000 into my account. Now, the reason why I'm sharing this with you is because I have collectively put less than 10 hours into this home in the last decade. Do some math for me. 10 hours, 1 decade. Does that sound like a huge time commitment? It was not a big time commitment. And that's because I had to challenge a thought that my father gave me growing up. My father was craftsman, master craftsman from Germany. He would work the tools so beautifully, building houses. And I remember one time talking to my dad, and it was during the summer. I was working with him, and he was showing me how to build this fireplace out, and with beautiful, exquisite craftsmanship with the wood. And I said, Dad, you have so much opportunity to grow your business. Why aren't you doing that? And he said, son, if you want something done right, do it yourself. And I'll never forget that moment because he had his hand right on the plane as he was showing me what that meant. So I, as a young man, started working that way until I got to about 25 homes when I actually started going kind of crazy inside. And I started thinking, man, Dad, I love you, I love your philosophy, but I'm going to try something new on. If you want something done right, don't do it yourself. Don't do it yourself, right? And that led to hundreds of homes. And if we fast forward, that has led to, when Gary was talking about nearly $1 billion, our company's done over $700 million of real estate. We do well over $100 million a year. And basically, here's what happened. I developed a real estate wealth system, and then I systematized it. Real estate is not my real genius. In fact, I've got a lot of things that are definitely not my real genius. I wanted to be a doctor, and I basically got flunked and failed out of pre-medical school because I couldn't get a decent grade in chemistry. But it turns out that I really like numbers and I really like math. So when my mentors started showing me all the different forms of real estate, I started asking the question, what's best? And it led to a book that I wrote. I might have some copies here with me tonight. I'm not sure. It is that book right there, Straight Path to Real Estate Wealth. Some people are going to ask, why'd you spell it wrong? You'd have to read the first chapter to find out why it's spelled biblically. But based on this theory, I started building my portfolio. And by the time I graduated from BYU, a year later, I quit my job that at the time then was then paying me 6 figures. And that's because my real estate was paying me a better 6 figures. And then that year I doubled my portfolio from 25 to 50 homes. And then my portfolio just kept growing. I had to develop systems. Develop what? So it was real simple for me. If you want something done right, don't do it yourself. I started bringing in experts. And the office that you're sitting in right now houses Strongbrook that has 200 experts around the country that will basically find the very best deals for you. How many of you think there's some value in finding the really good ones? As in vetting through thousands of homes every week and finding the ones that will go and buy cash at the auctions, et cetera, things like that. So we find them, then we risk somebody else's money to fix them up, because is there risk in real estate? How many of you like it if someone else actually bought the home for you and fixed it up before you had to take title and take risk on? Then they get it rented, and in that process, sometimes they're rented, sometimes they're not. They basically tee them up and put them on a platter and say, here's a home. And then you basically walk in at one of the best prices you can get in the best markets of the country. The property management is all lined up, and you're basically all set to win. How many of you think that's kind of cool? Do you know why I developed the system? Do you know who I developed it for? Yourself. I built it for who? I built it for me. So that when I built my portfolio, because again, am I about real estate or my passion? Yeah, I have a passion for real estate because it actually has unmortgaged my life, and it gives me the ability to do the things that I really love. And if you don't know what that is, how many of you think they got to attend 3 days of Limitless and find out what that is? It's a life-changing, transformative experience. Now, obviously, we're not here to talk about that tonight, but I just want you to know that there's a lot of ideas in real estate that are false. For example, do you need to lose all your money in real estate because of timing in the market with '07? No, I was building my portfolio like crazy, and it grew during that period of time. So we know that some real estate strategies work well in down markets and some don't. True? So I basically put an algorithm, bless you, together that said the best form of real estate for me would take the least time, the least effort, the least risk, and make the most money. Does that make sense? Yeah. Provide a service for people. So that's the real estate that I focus on, built a company that has all that put together, and it's been an amazing journey. And something happened in my life a couple of weeks ago where I had one of those light bulb aha ideas. And I apologize for the very poor accommodations tonight. We did have an RSVP page. We only had about 50 people registered, so we thought this room would be fine. We've got over 100 people, and I know it's really hot in here, and I'm going to do my best to keep the message short and punctual and poignant. We'll do some Q&A, and then really want to talk about what this looks like. What happened in my life? When I started Strongbrook, I had bought all these homes. I was continuing to build my portfolio, but me and my business partner, we made a decision. And the decision was, I'll just keep partnering with people the way I have been. I'll tell you what that means too. Or we'll start opening up to the public. And 8 years ago, Strongbrook was open to the public, and we started building people's portfolios, where you get all of the benefits, you get the tax benefits, all the ownership. We do all the heavy lifting. Does that sound like a really good plan, by the way? And so I put a lot of my partnering on hold to build a company and to help thousands of people. And that's what's led to nearly $1 billion now of real estate. This last month when I was sitting down in a meeting with my partner, he said, Chris, because of what you're doing in Limitless and some of these other things, we can now raise the partnering embargo. And I thought, whoa, what would happen if I started just telling people that I was opening my doors to partner? Well, 2 weeks ago we had our first meeting. Who was there, by the way? So many of you here and some out in the foyer probably. How many of you are here for the first time? Awesome. I'm going to share with you some information I shared with them. And essentially it all comes down to this. I'm going to show you how to buy real estate the most financially intelligent way possible. How many of you would like to buy real estate with maximum returns? How'd you like to get maximum growth? Now I'm going to tell you something, that Utah is cool. Right now we are ranked third highest in the nation for one of the most desirable and fastest growing areas. But Utah is only one of 350 markets around the entire United States. So what's the likelihood that Utah is the best market? Utah right now is a seller's market. I'm offloading lots of real estate at prices. Man, I bought this tiny little, you wouldn't even believe it, for $95,000, 4-bedroom, 1-bath, converted the garage into that 4th bedroom, just sold that house for $177,000. When you have a good system and you have a good strategy, you can always win in real estate, either with cash flow or with equity growth. But here's what we did. We, several years ago, we said, let's go to the next level. Instead of just being captive in Utah, what would happen if instead of being in one market of 350, what if you could be in the best of the 350 markets? In the country, there are always markets where you can get maximum cash flow, and there are other markets where you can get maximum growth. For example, you guys know what happened in Arizona 5, 7, 8 years ago? And the market totally what? It totally crashed. And it had a massive overcorrection. To crash is an understatement. Brand new homes selling for under $100,000 that cost $200,000 to build. So we bought over 1,000 homes in that market, bought a pile myself, helped our clients do that. And our clients are liquidating those homes and making money hand over fist in most situations. Right now, Florida is an incredible growth market like that because it crashed. It hasn't come back. And that's where you're from. And I'll tell you something, that you don't have to be a rocket scientist to get real estate. You don't have to be an economist, but you do have to get numbers, and you do have to get the chondrity of cycles, the patterns, and how it works. And real estate is very simple. If I were to draw you a picture, Carson, you mind swinging the camera? This is going to seem really elementary, but real estate is very elementary. Over time, what happens to the human population? We make babies and people move to America, and everyone wants to be in America, right? So we're always growing. So by the way, as long as America is making babies and people are moving in, then we're always going to have a demand for what? Yeah, for homes. So by the way, in 2007 when things dropped, you know that real estate went on hold everywhere in the country for a handful of years. But when the population's going up and people are twiddling their thumbs and got extra time and making more babies, what must happen to demand when you're not building houses but population increases? Yeah. Here's how real estate always grows with time. While it always goes up, it doesn't go like that. It looks more like this. And it's not as nearly as crazy and sporadic as the stock market, because the market can shift at a moment, and real estate usually has a 15 to 20-year movement cycle. Is slow. And if this is the average building price, you just need this little fun little detail. This is so crazy. When you go and buy a house below the market, and you're buying it, let's just call it 20% below what it costs to build a home, like I'm doing right now in Florida, then before the market can come back down, what has to happen? We're making babies, and we need to build some homes before you can get to a bubble. So trough, bubble, trough, bubble. It's never bubble, bubble, trough, bubble, trough, bubble, bubble. It's always trough, bubble, trough, bubble. Can y'all say that? Trough, bubble, trough, bubble. And that's because population is penting up, and we at least got to start building homes again at the cost to build them. Does that make sense that you can't build it for less than it costs? Like, you can't go to Home Depot and say, your lumber is, $1.83 on your studs. I want it for $1.40. That doesn't work, does it? Doesn't happen. It's very static. So what must happen is we got to start building things at the rebuild. So if you buy something 20% below market, the market has to come back up. Long before there's a bubble, there's a gain to be made. Does that make sense? Okay. I don't want to turn tonight into understanding the market. You can go to my YouTube channel. Get several 100,000 people watching those videos and getting some good of this information. The point is that there's a system and there's a way to predict the market. And even though 2007 was the worst crash in real estate since the Great Depression, there's a reason why we've gotten where we're at. And that's because of a system, a philosophy, and a strategy. In really quick layman's terms, it's buying single-family homes below the median at a discount in certain markets, 3 to 5 bedrooms with certain cash flow points. And if you follow that strategy on a short-term buy and hold, that's where we've had our greatest success. Now, I want to get clear on a couple things. Can I guarantee that you always make money in real estate? When you're doing thousands of deals, it's cool to have actuaries and be able to make good, intelligent decisions and all those great things. But at the end of the day, are there any guarantees? Not when you're seeing growth like this, not when you're seeing gains like this. The worst case scenario that happens in real estate is that the market goes down and it's just time to cash flow. The other worst case scenario is that your tenant beats up your house and you got to put money into it. Now, is that predictable? Yes, it's very predictable. Real estate needs to become ultra predictable. When you're doing thousands of homes, guess what? I want to make all of my decisions on cookie cutter, ultra boring real estate so that I can go into a zip code and look at the last 50 homes that we did and get accurate information. Does this make sense? Because remember, is real estate my passion? Not like Limitless is, so I need to set it and forget it. I need to what? Set it and forget it. And so ultimately, you have some opportunities tonight. And I'm going to talk about 3 different specific ones. How many? 3. And I think I am going to use this whiteboard. Back in frame. Don't worry, I'm walking just over here to grab my marker. Poor Carson. Yeah, he's locked in back there. Okay. First of all, how many of you would love to focus on your passion, but love to have real estate wealth being built in the background, totally passive? How many of you would like that? Okay. That's one group of people. I've got 2 things to talk to you about if you like real estate growing passive. Who are my hands-on people where you love to go and check out the house and you want to have your hands on the tools and you like to be a part of it and have it be an active business? Who likes active business real estate? Dude, don't be ashamed. It's okay. Dude, if I didn't have you people in my life, right? So some people love to be hands-on and some people love to be hands-off. And me personally, I'm a delegator with a team. So I'm personally a huge proponent of hands-off because I like maximum leverage in my life. And Limitless is where I'm totally hands-on. So there's things in your life where you want to be hands-on, but you want to do that where your passion is. And if real estate's not your passion, please don't make it your passion. You're going to screw it up so good. There's a reason why a lot of people lose money in real estate. Instead of it being their passion, they do it for what? They do it just for the money. And if you don't have enough passion to pull you through the level of commitment you're going to need, keep you from cutting corners, that's where it gets messy. I got friends that make loads of money in real estate. It is their passion and they love to be really hands-on with it. So I want to get you to the epiphany as I describe these three options. And to do this, I need to explain this one part. I was able to get into 3 homes all by myself with basically $5,000. And those 3 homes increased my net worth over $200,000. They paid my rent because I rented the basement and I was living for free. And the 3 homes collectively gave me a cash flow of over $1,000. Now, in your poor college kid, is a passive $1,000 a month cool? If you're an adult, is a passive $1,000 a month cool? Yeah, it is. Is living for free cool? Absolutely. Is increasing your net worth 200 grand cool? These are all cool things. And I thought, wow, if it worked 1 time, 2 time, 3 time, then I should do it how many times? As many times as I can, hundreds of times. So that's what I love about systems. Well, I got up to, I was getting ready to buy my 4th house, and I got to tell you, my father-in-law wasn't really keen on what I was doing. He lived out on the East Coast. He had this brand new crazy son-in-law that was going to be a doctor, flunked out of that opportunity, buys a home and thinks, you don't even know what your major is. Why are you buying a house? Then a year later, I bought my 2nd house, and he's thinking, man, you guys, then he totally knew I was crazy. Like, you guys getting a divorce? Do you need 2 houses? When I got my 3rd house, he just kind of threw his arms up in the air and says, I just don't get you. I had found the 4th house I wanted to do, but I wasn't ready to harvest the equity out of my home, so I was stuck. I was like, oh, I need $20,000 because I'm gonna double my money in 90 days. How many of you like the idea of doubling your money in 90 days? I'm like, And crazy that my father-in-law, who thought me so weird, had just come home from a trip from the Bahamas, and he had a dream. So amazing. He had this dream that he should do real estate with me. So when he came home, he said, this is probably going to shock you, but show me what you've been up to. And I started showing him my returns. And friends, the way I do real estate, my returns kick the trash out of the market. 401ks, IRAs, I don't believe in plans that don't work. And so he saw that, and he couldn't believe how well I was doing. And he had this great idea. He said, I'll give you the money, you do all the work, and we'll split it down the middle. What would you have said? Sure, father-in-law. Yeah, absolutely. We can. I was so thrilled. I was so excited. I was like, there's no way I got this lucky. Well, did that house, did another house, did another house. And by the time I got up to, I think it was my 9th house, I was a senior in college. I was doing one of my last semesters, and my professor was pontificating, and I just started trying to think, okay, how do I get more real estate? Because it's working so well. And then I thought, you know what? I got lucky. I have an unfair advantage because I got a father-in-law that's doing these homes with me, and that has accelerated. I might only be earning half of the money on the deal, but that's a bunch more houses than I would have been at. How many of you think that would have been a good deal? And that's when I had this idea. I need more father-in-laws.
Or Aunt Myrtle.
Now, father-in-law is it's a term of endearment that means someone else that also needs a better financial solution that I could provide. There were 4 people that have been watching me for the last year. I sat down with them. I showed them my 4 homes, my portfolio of homes, and all 4 of them that week decided to partner with me. And I started buying a house every week. And friends, that was so exciting because it accelerated my journey to quit my job and had all this money rolling in. And the crazy thing was, how much money was I bringing to the table? Money is a very valuable asset, but it's not the only one. If you have money and a really poorly conceived real estate plan, what's the outcome going to be? Negative cash flow, loss money, loss. What if you have money and then you also have the component of a real estate plan with a track record on thousands of homes that's been working in up and down, best and worst economies? What would you think about that? Yeah. The greatest asset that I have today, it's not my wealth. It's my what? It's my knowledge. It's my team. And if you really want to know the big, cheap shortcut to making it big in real estate, you don't win when you do a house here and a house there. You win in bulk. Bulk changes everything in real estate. By bulk, I mean you're transacting so many homes that all of a sudden you have all these patterns on paint colors and carpets, and you've lined up all of your repair people. They've become reliable because it's not a job here, a job there. They've been steadily working for you for years. I give a property manager. If you've ever, anyone here ever have an out-of-state property? When you hire a property manager out of state and you're worth $80 to them, just curious, how much loyalty can you buy with this great asset, this 6-figure asset? How much loyalty can you buy for $80 a month? None. Which means if they rent it out, they're happy, and if they don't care. But when you give a property manager 400 homes, what does that buy you?
A lot of attention. Loyalty.
It buys you a lot of loyalty because no one wants to lose that account. Doing real estate in bulk is a huge secret to going so much quicker, faster, and further. So those are things that I've been building up, and partnering has been really valuable for me. 2 weeks ago, I made an announcement in the only other meeting I've had since now to tell people that I have opened my doors for the first time in 8 years, and I'm going to start taking the cherry-picked best deals in the country. I'm going to partner with people, and I'm looking for partners that want to bring the money to the table. I'll bring the team and all my know-how, all of the management, all the tax strategizing, basically every loophole, and give you a master plan on how to build a portfolio as masterfully as possible and come up with a real 5-10 year plan to knock your wealth out of the park. How does that sound? Yeah. That sound interesting?
Oh, yeah.
Here was the crazy part. Even though I haven't partnered for 8 years to honor the agreement I put together, this is what was different. Any of you that introduce me to someone that I choose to partner with, then my portion of the equity, whatever it is, I will split it with you 50-50, make you my business partner, and you will get to share as an equal partner in all the earnings, even though you didn't bring any money in and you didn't bring any credit in. What do you guys think of that? Now, I want to be really concrete in what I mean by that. So I'm going to draw a picture, and then I'm going to talk about some different ways that we can play, and essentially, how do I get you more information is what tonight's about. I will tell you that I understand how crazy this is because I'm getting responses that I wasn't anticipating. I wasn't anticipating this tonight. I'm going to have to shut this program down really quick. So I want to be really clear on how you can work with me indefinitely in this capacity, and then the big barrier that I'm going to have to erect to make sure that I don't get inundated, because the reality is, even though I've done over $700 million of real estate with my company, does that mean that I can take on millions of partners? Nope. Only interested in doing what we can. And right now I have a lot of excess capacity. My team has a lot of deals. So there's a lot of people that I can work with. So I just want to share with you all the rules, and then how you can investigate and learn, and we'll do some Q&A. So let me just kind of explain this concept of partnering. This represents, let's call it the LLC that we set up that houses the real estate, whether there's 1 home in it, 2 homes, 3 homes, whatever is in this LLC. There is a portion, somewhere between 50 to 70%, that is going to go to the person that is bringing money and credit, even if it's not yours. And that's so that the lion's share can go to the person that is putting their money to work. Does this make sense? Yeah. Then there's this other portion for bringing the deals, bringing the team, accessing the best deals, and giving you lightning shortcuts to the very best deals that exist. And if this is your portion, then this would be whose portion? This would be me. And if I can bring a track record like that and show you the kind of returns we've been making, how many of you think that partnering for some people would really be a great way to go? Someone who's vested in seeing that grow, and how do I take a few homes and turn it into several homes? My father-in-law, we've ended up doing 50 homes together. We're liquidating tons, and this year he'll probably, between last year and this year, probably capitalize over $1 million on what he and I started 10 years ago. By the way, I learned the secret for being favorite son-in-law. Just make your father-in-law $1 million. Just kidding. I'm not kidding. Sorry. All right. Okay, on my portion here, what I'm doing that is really kind of crazy is If you introduce me to this person that we decide to do some partnering with, then I don't know what half is, but let's just say that I knew exactly how to draw that, and it was right here. And this is you, and this is me. This is my way of saying thank you, but I'm doing one more thing. I got a couple of reasons why I'm doing this. I've been teaching people for years how to partner, and 9 out of 10 of you are not going to do it. You know why? There's a science to it. You're going to burn your bridges. You only know a handful of people that you have the real credibility with that you could actually partner with. And because you don't have experience, and because you don't know how to talk the talk, and because you don't have the track record, no one's going to invest in you. If real estate's your purpose, you will find a way. But for the rest of you, it's not going to happen. I am your Kickstarter real estate program. Introduce these relationships, get a piece of the pie, have ownership, title on the LLC, grow yourself. But after we've done a few partnerships together and you understand how it works, how will I feel if you break off and just do your own partnering altogether? Awesome. How will I feel? Successful. I will be totally thrilled for you because I'm going to partner no matter what and build wealth. But guys, there's no point for scarcity. There's so much wealth. There's so much opportunity. And making $1 million when you know what you're doing, giving in the right time, and having the right system, it's inevitable. And there's enough for everyone. So it's how do we spread the wealth to as many people as possible? This is a training program for some of you to say, wow, I never ever would have gotten in otherwise, and now there's a very real way for me to be able to do that. You're one relationship away from someone that learns about our company and says, that's something I want to invest in, or that's the way I'd like to do it. Now, I can't guarantee that people will want to partner with me, and that's why we have a total of 3 different options. How many? 3. And I'm going to explain what those are. And then we're going to do some Q&A. Close enough. All right. Option number 1. Option number what? 1. It's called Done For You. That's shorthand. It's not really spelled that way. Done For You Real Estate. I have a company that will help you build your portfolio. To do this, you must have already $35,000 to $40,000 that you could invest, and you have to have credit, generally a 670 score or higher. And if you already have these 2 things, my company will help plug you into our turnkey system, take you to the best markets, and help you transact real estate. It's not a training program. It's not an education program. Consider it a better alternative to your 401k or your IRA or where else you stick your money. And this is a really great option. And when you build your portfolio that way, it's 100% yours. So we set people up for building their portfolios. Does this make sense? Now, I'm sharing this because when people do this program, there's normally a cost to join this program, but I know many of you in this room have the certificate where you were able to access this program for what? Free. Because 2017, I want it to be the craziest year of my life. 2016 was by far the craziest year. I took 3 international trips with my children, had a chance to see the world. This year, next month, we're in Tahiti, and then we're going to Machu Picchu, and then I got a hunt in Africa. Like right now, between that and Limitless and family, that's my jam. That's where I love to be. That's where I'm investing my time and effort because I'm 37, but I understand life is short enough that I'm going to make the most of it, and I'm going to fulfill that purpose. That's my commitment. This is a great thing to have going on in the background to help you get where you need to go. Option number 2. If you really want to go far with partnering with me, if you want to go far in real estate, you're going to have to get some education. Get some what? And you got to have to hang out with people that are actually doing real estate, not just educating on it. Does this also make sense? There's a lot of talk in the real estate world, and this is not a real estate education company. This is a learn real estate, do real estate. So this is what we call our Limitless real estate community. These are my people. For example, Gary told you a little bit about the community. The community, we're meeting all day tomorrow. I'm going to kick off the day. I got a rant inside me built up so powerfully on some real estate mindset because right now the real estate between your ears, that's the stuff that you got to fix so that it doesn't poison. I got to keep you from poisoning your portfolio. Because trust me, there's some mindset and training that you're going to need if you want to do that right. When people join this community, generally, They pay $15,000. And then they get access to all that training, networking, bless you, working with the team, doing local deals together, bringing deals to the table. What Gary said is some got money, some got credit, some got deals, some got abilities. And we're just here to make it happen. Love, love, love this place. And any of you that want to go far with me, this needs to be a very real consideration for you to look at. Because if you think I'm going to train you on everything real estate, I am leverage, man. Leverage man. Leverage man. All right. I love leverage. So I'm going to take the shortest amount of time from my energy to get you all the training that you need to get where you need to go. And I'm going to introduce you to my peeps that are going to collectively get you exactly where you need to go. Okay, so there's this real estate community. And the cool thing, one more thing about the real estate community, this is passive. This is hands-on. And this is creative. Does everyone understand what I mean by creative? Standard is put 20% down, have the credit score, buy a home. Creative is get a rockin' deal and put minimum amount of money or get your money working in as many places as you can intelligently with discounts. So there's so much to teach you. Okay, so it's to make sure that you get rocking and rolling in real estate in a really great way. Okay, and then this is the third option, which is the new option. And this is the partnering program. Now the good news is I got a handout, and so all of this, it all fits on one sheet of paper. That's cool. It's really that simple. Here's what the partnering program looks like. The partnering program, it is also currently free. It is free till February 25th. It could be free for life for you. And I'll tell you, how many of you would be interested in actually getting that program free for life and never having to pay for it? I'll tell you exactly how to do that. Guys, it's crazy. When I gave this $10,000 program away, people are like, you're not really going to do that. I mean, you've sold millions of dollars of this program. And in 3 days, you gave away $4.3 million of this program? Yes. I'm doing the same thing here till February 25th, okay? After February 25th, this program gets locked in my $15,000 community. That's where you'd have to go to access it. Again, why do I have to lock it up? Because we're breaking fire code right now. It's just too many people. So I want to help. So I've got a good guess on what would be a good cutoff, and I just want to know who in the next 5-10 years wants to build a mega portfolio together? Who wants to build and grow whether you do or don't got money? Who's looking for the ultimate shortcut? And instead of, okay, you're doing great, Wayne. And you spell your name very interesting. Okay, so isn't there a Y in there?
It's subliminal.
It is subliminal. Okay, so the way this partnering program works, you all saw how we did the splits on all that, right? My partners can earn up to 70% of the ownership in that, and the other 30% is for me to give you not access to good deals and turnkey and passive. It's for me to let you in on my personal private system to get the very best deals. And the returns on my very best deals, they look good. They look different than all the other really good deals. Does this make sense? And so someone that wants that hyper personal shepherding, working with my, not my team of extended that work with thousands of people, I'm talking about my private liaison team that works with people, there's this partnering option. And so for partnering, I'm looking for an individual generally, if they're gonna step in, I'm looking for a 2-home minimum, which means that you probably gotta have somewhere around $70,000 or $80,000 sitting in a 401k, IRA, home equity, doesn't have to be in savings, but some kind of assets built some way. And someone that has the ability to do 2 or more homes, we're gonna sit down and talk about doing some partnering and actually building a portfolio home. Because 2 homes, what do you think my goal is 5 years from now with those 2 homes? I don't know how to make a baby with one person, but put 2 in the middle, we put 2 homes together and they gotta make some babies. So I want them to turn into 3 homes and 4 homes. Sorry, I'm not trying to be crass. I want my homes to multiply. Is that better? I want them to replenish the earth. Okay, all right. I love growing things. Does anyone else here like trading 1s for 2s? 2s for 5s, 5s for 10s, 10s for 1,000s? Am I turning red? It's really warm in here. It's crazy, crazy warm in here.
got really red really fast.
Yeah. It's this hot corner over here, man. Next layer's about to come down. Okay, so we've got the done for you option, we got the real estate community, we got the partnering, 3 different aspects, and right now what we're doing on the partnering, those that are in the community, those that are getting into the partnering for life, we are going to hold at least 2 events a month, probably 3 or 4, probably in a place like this, except we're going to have better forecasting on seating and such and air conditioning. And during those couple times a month meetings, that's where you're going to introduce people that could make good partners. They might go with one of these other directions. We'll send you a referral fee if they don't want to partner, because some people won't. There are going to be some people that just say, hey, this is my perfect option. Some of you, this is my perfect option. Some of you, this is my perfect option. And at the end of tonight, those of you that would be considering any of these, we're going to give you an appointment so you have the opportunity to sit down with a couple of our in-house experts, James, Stephen Miller, and they'll set an appointment to sit down with you either tonight or more than likely tomorrow and have a conversation either by phone or in person. They'll run through these options and they'll see if any of them honestly resonate or make sense. Now, before we wrap things up and get to some Q&A, does anyone want to know how to get this $15,000 partnering program for free for life?
Yes. Sure.
All right. It's going to require tangent. Is that okay? I keep it short. I already told you my passion is every month at Limitless, my goal is to introduce as many people as possible to our 3-day transformational event. It is 3 days on the power of the mind like you have never seen before. If you come to that event, raise your hand if you've been to that event before. How many of you know you're not going to leave that event the same person, right? Can I hear some noise on that? Okay. I love getting as many people there as possible, so here's what we're asking. If you want to attend Limitless, it's a 3-day event and it's $499. But if you go onto our website, limitlessseminar.com, just write that up here.
That's 3 S's.
Limitlessseminar.com. I dropped those prices down to $99 for a ticket. If you have 2 people purchase $99 tickets and come to the event, whether you're there, first of all, this is for those of you that have been to Limitless. If you get 2 people to also come at that discounted ticket price, then whether you attend the event or not, we will be emailing you your certificate and you'll have this program for free for life. It's a crazy low barrier of entry because I've done my math and my numbers and I know my load. I know how many people I can make this long-term commitment to and fulfill on. If you've never been to Limitless, can I see your hands? All you got to do is go to Limitless, February 23rd, 24th, 25th at the Utah Valley Convention Center. It's 3 full days. You might walk away saying that was way more valuable than this, but hey, I just got the real estate partnering program with Chris for life, and I'm going to build a portfolio whether I got money or not. Is that clear enough on how that works? So does everyone here understand whether you have or haven't been to Limitless, how you can actually get that program for life? All right. There's one great benefit that I get with my partners when you've been to Limitless. We invest so deeply up here that you become a really great partner. I have to give you the very real caution and risk assessment on real estate. Can I do that for a sec? Would anyone appreciate hearing the harsh reality? Here's the harsh reality. Really bad things can happen in real estate, but if you know what you're doing, the really bad things don't happen, like earthquakes swallowing your houses or Hurricane Katrina without proper insurance. The real stuff is that when your house needs a $5,000 to $10,000 or $15,000 overhaul. And when that hits unexpectedly and you're not prepared for it, that can bury you fast. We're aware of that and we know that and we prepare for it. It's predictable. We know it's going to happen. It's a matter of time. And we have actuaries telling us with standard deviations when that's going to happen. So with my partners, we get together at my house a couple times a year and we throw down a party, we have fun, we have some food, we do market update, do some Q&A, and I keep a real close tab on you. The reason why is so that 4 years from now, when something happens on your house, then we've been staying in good touch with each other and we've been working on this mindset thing and you're in a really great place to say, hey, this is part of making lots of money in real estate just like you predicted would happen. Yes. I got a house that I'm about to sell right now and I'm not going to do very well on it. I'm going to make about $35,000 on it. And that's after putting $15,000 into it. Okay, I'm not exactly thrilled about that outcome because when I split that with a partner, that's like a $17,000, and money is money. So $17,000, $170,000 are both cool. We're not going to turn one away. It's all right. It's all zeros. But there's just, it needs $15,000 to get it to the state, and that's just real estate. We know this stuff.
That's a trip to Tahiti.
It's a trip to Tahiti. Not just a trip to Tahiti, in those overwater bungalows. You know what I'm talking about? Sorry. There's only, the Maldives is the only other place where you can really get those, so that's why we picked Tahiti. Just want those. You guys know those overwater bungalows where your house is like over the ocean and you have no neighbors and it's like the private side of the island? It's cool pictures. All right. I don't know if they're cool. I'll let you know next month. I'll let you know if they were really cool or not, or if the picture's worth it all. So this partnering program, when I shut this down on February 25th, anyone that's at the event on day 3 is going to receive it. If they've never been to Limitless, or if they brought 2 guests with them, they're going to get it whether they attend the event or not. And then afterwards, it's being put inside the real estate community. Everyone in the community will always have access to this. One more time again, who are my real estate community peeps here? Guess what? Congratulations. You're partners with me for life. It's a new program. It's just $15,000 worth of bonus because we love to do that. And let's go do some serious real estate, right? Right? Yes. Yes, Lane. Nod your head. I want to see it. Thank you. We're going to make that happen. All right. So what I want to do right now is I'm just going to handle some questions that you might have. And then I've got James. Oh, and then what will happen is those of you that want a Pathfinder session, meaning schedule a time to sit down with my team, investigate this. They will then sit down, review your options with you. If it looks like you're a candidate for this partnering program, then we're going to get a chance to meet with me and my team and sit down and personally vet. I will take time to do that because I want to know who I'm partnering with and make sure we're clear on the goal and how you use my personal private inner circle with doing those real estate deals. So when you speak to the Pathfinders, I've got Stephen Miller right here, who's my founder business partner. He's going to jump in and meet with many of you. Can we give him a round of applause? He's amazing. And then James is waving right here behind the glass. Can we, this is James. James is also another person you'll get a chance to meet with. Give James a wave and a clap. And then they'll also have on your way out one of these pieces of paper that just to help you really understand the difference of the 3 different ways of investing in real estate. My biggest advice is this. Life is too short. There will be enough appointments for people, so you don't have to rush out. But you can go get it. It's okay. Get your appointment. It's okay. No, it's okay. You're okay. They've been ramping up to open up their schedule more for tomorrow for this unexpected turnout tonight. I want to share this before we jump into Q&A. I know what scarcity tastes like. I know what it feels like to play small. I know how fear feels when you don't know how you're going to pay your obligations or just even cover some of your basic necessities. What I didn't share with you at the start was that I know it's weird that a young man retires at such a young age, but there was a reason. And the reason was that my parents had always thought about money growing up. My wife and I were starting the pattern, and when I couldn't even pay for groceries, I knew that something had to change. And sometimes we don't discover the greatness inside until we are pushed to a limit, and I reached my limit that day where I felt like I broke. And I just made a commitment. I'm not interested in the 30-year plan. I'm not interested in the 50-year plan, and I'm certainly not interested in the broke plan that 97% of us engage in. And I accomplished in 4.5 years what most people don't accomplish in lifetimes. And real estate done correctly has that power. If you're properly educated, properly networked, if you've got the team and the right instruction, it can do such incredible things. I am most grateful for the value that real estate creates in my life because it is how I have the permission to do all the other things that I have my key passion for. And every one of us in this room, if we weren't worried about bills, and that's not true for all of us here, but for many of us here, we worried about our bills. We're trying to figure out how we're going to come up with, paying for this and that. How are we going to eliminate this debt? And for me, I made a commitment a long time ago. That is too small of a life to be so mentally obsessed and use this God-given gift to obsess over something so small for my entire life. And so I chose out. And that's my invitation for you tonight. This isn't going to be for all of you, but for some of you, you're feeling like, hey, this would be definitely my time to move forward. And if so, speak with one of our Pathfinders and learn your options. And do I have any future partners in the room? I'm just curious. Hey, congratulations. Right now, we're going to go out and buy a lot of real estate, create great value. We're going to provide a great service for people, and it's going to be amazing. Give yourselves a round of applause. Do I got any people that are going to come join me in my community so that me and my team can train you on how to master building wealth so that if you lose everything, you know how to build it back? Who's excited about joining me on that? Give yourselves a round of applause. Awesome. So let's do some questions. Go ahead.
So you're talking about...
First of all, you got to tell us your name.
Okay, my name's Tim.
Hey, Tim. I know it was unexpected, but...
So you're talking about leveraging debt to buy houses.
Okay, this is a good question. Tim says, so you're talking about leveraging debt to buy houses. The answer is often, but only 70% of the time. Some people will buy homes cash, but we are definitely going to be leveraging positive debt responsibly.
Right. So a majority of your deals are with leveraging debt.
Yes.
Which only works if the value of the house is going up.
So the gentleman here, Tim's question is, the strategy only works if the value of the house goes up with debt. And that's just not true. And that's where there's just a lot more information, education. The market does not have to cooperate. If that were the strategy, then in 2007 I would have gone bust. There's a reason why we continued growing and doing very, very well, and it's because the market does not have to go up to win with this strategy.
Right, but that's you. There was lots of other people who lost everything.
I understand that. I understand that a lot of people lost everything because they didn't understand what they were doing. They were uneducated. Many people were over leveraged. Banks were doing loans with 0% down on an investment property. Crazy stuff that totally violates my personal set of rules that I follow. Yeah. So if I buy a house with a huge equity position and I put 20% down, I almost got my house half paid off. Guess what that does? It's what Warren Buffett teaches in his book Snowball. Everyone know who Warren Buffett is? He's the #1 philanthropist on the planet. And Warren Buffett in his book, he teaches this crazy strategy called buy low, sell high. And what he says is the margin from where you buy to what something is worth is what's called a margin of safety. So when we do real estate, when you learn more about it, our strategy is to produce a great margin of safety for when things like that happen. The other thing is, the reason why we also didn't tank when the market hurt is because, let me ask you, if the national median on homes is $200,000, then what happens with $1 million homes when the market crashes? What happens to $500,000 homes? What happens to $200,000 homes? Watch. What happens to a $150,000 home? Okay, so buying homes below the median with discounts and having that certain amount of, so knowing how to, what I call responsibly leveraging debt. We're going to control debt. We're not going to, guys, the goal isn't to eliminate the debt. It is to control it and 3, 5, 7 years later pay it off and eliminate it. So we're leveraging it for a period of time.
Well, as long as your cash flow's there, it doesn't really matter unless you're out to sell.
Yep, if you got your cash flow in place, that's definitely a part of the equation on the buffer.
So I read several articles today from reputable magazine, Forbes, Wall Street Journal. They're talking about how the market's overvalued. They're talking about how people are getting into homes, getting into investing.
Yeah.
The market's overvalued.
Yeah, Tim's bringing up a great comment. He says, read a lot of articles today saying the market is overvalued. Just remember that the market being overvalued consists of 350 submarkets, and I'm not interested in the market. I'm interested in the market. There's always a way to win in real estate. Other questions? Go ahead.
Hey, this is Bonnie.
Hey, Bonnie.
So, in regards to that third option there, and you said bring 2 people, you know, they have to pay $99. Do they get it too, and you, or just you?
So Bonnie's question is, the people that you bring, the 2 tickets at $99, do they have to bring 2 people to get the gift? No. Anyone that's coming to Limitless for the very first time ever, they're just going to get it.
Me bringing those two.
But because you've been, Bonnie, because you bring two, that's how you get it. They get it by being first timers. You get it by bringing two other people to be first timers. No, good question. Awesome. Thank you, Bonnie. Go ahead, Wayne.
I think, my name's Wayne.
Hey, Wayne.
Hey, everybody. Well, I think, like Tim said, he says you're leveraging money, et cetera. I think also Chris wants us to know that he's leveraging other people's time, other people's money, other people's credit. He says he is the leverage man.
I didn't want to say the king of leverage. That just sounded extra pompous.
So he's leveraging everything. I mean, not just money. You're leveraging time. You're leveraging other people's money. You're leveraging resources and minimizing your effort.
Yeah, and there's no doubt that for many of you in the room, there's going to be some, I'm going to call it re-education. Because we've, as a society as a whole, the consumers have been trained to think that debt is what? And debt is bad. If it's consumer debt and it costs you money and if you have to pay to keep up with it. I am tens of millions of dollars in debt. But it is a positive debt that makes me money. And it's sad that we have one word for two opposite meanings. And with this other kind of debt, we actually have an economy. We wouldn't have one otherwise. So there's some education on, well, these sound like really foreign concepts. And we'll help provide that. We'll help you understand. And by the way, is this going to be for everybody? No. It's not going to be for everyone. Is that okay? Yes. It is. That's okay.
Are you going to talk about this tomorrow? The whole strategy and stuff?
Gary, we might choose to talk about some of this tomorrow. I know we have we got a packed day of amazing training, but
I mean your whole philosophy about real estate investing.
I will definitely be jumping on that. We'll definitely be teaching the mindset and the philosophy of real estate every time I show up at the. My biggest contribution is not to take time in the real estate community teaching you the steps. We have our people do that for you. What I want to do is I want to teach you the mindset of wealth so that you don't work against your own strategy. The limiting beliefs we have about finance and money is one of the biggest curses that actually keep us from making it. People that are glass half empty, people that are pessimists, people that have that kind of mindset, doing any kind of investment you'd consider risky, you're going to contribute to producing a result that you probably don't want to get. Pessimistic people don't get lucky. Go ahead.
If we can't be at the program tomorrow, can we be sure to see somebody tonight?
If you cannot get an appointment for tomorrow, you can absolutely talk. I know that they have a few appointments for tonight, so when they set up those, you can definitely do that. So absolutely. And for those of you that are in the lobby, you're going to get this message in 40 seconds. And just want you to know that you can walk on over here if you have a question, want to poke your head in and ask us a question over here too. We'll take just a couple more. Go ahead.
What's the difference in how much you make if you have a 401k versus your real estate?
Oh, that's a good question. What's the difference between how much you make in a 401k versus your real estate investing? This was not a very good question to ask me because I have very low opinions of 401ks. I know that we get lulled away with these matches and by being given money and some of this deferred tax concepts, but the reality is that it's your money, it's locked up, you're not getting paid on it, and for me an investment is something that pays me. So every time you put your money in something that doesn't pay you, that's called what? It's called a speculative investment, which means you're gambling. And you know that at some point and at some year you're going to get your money and you'll eventually get not tax breaks more or less, but you're going to get non-penalty breaks, but your money gets tied up often for years and decades. And the reality is that I would rather make my time value of money today, what I can do in real estate, is always going to outperform what a 401k can. So a lot of us have been trained, put your money in 401ks, put your money in IRAs, put your money in annuities, put your money in some of these different devices and vehicles. But question, does your IRA pay you? No. Does your 401k pay you? No. When you pay off your house and you work on aggressively paying off the mortgage, does it pay you? No. My goal is to always be out of debt, especially the bad kind of debt. However, I have a change in my priorities. I don't retire my debts until I'm retired first. So I'm a priority over my debt because I can't survive on no debt. Most people are trained to actually prematurely retire their debts. And as a result, you put yourself on a slow path and a guaranteed path of never getting where you want. So J.B. Shea, 1800 philosophist, a French economist, essentially said, creating wealth is moving money from low yields to high yields. And that's all we're doing here is we're comparing these yields to those yields. And At the end of the day, guys, this is really, once you learn it and it's not so foreign for some of us, I know some of us get it, this is boring and it works and it's awesome. And that's what interests me is predictability. Did I answer your question?
Not really, 'cause
Dang it.
what I want to say is, 401ks right now, how much is it actually paying?
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
So I'm going to save that question for the Pathfinder on, because everyone's 401k is going to earn a little different. So I don't know exactly what yours is doing. I know what a lot of them are doing and what those limitations are and the time value money that can be calculated.
But I'm saying you could probably make twice as much if you put it in real estate.
That's where she's wanting you to go.
That's where I want you.
Do you want the microphone and just say you're going to do a lot better in real estate than a 401k? All right, give it up, guys. Straight from Linda's mouth, okay? And I approve of this message. Tyler. Oh, excellent question. Can I roll this money over? Do I have to pay penalties? This is my team's specialty, understanding all the really cool tax loopholes, deferring taxes with refinances, 1031 exchanges when moving real estate, self-directing IRAs, 401ks. What we'll do is we'll do a cost-benefit analysis on what makes more sense. There are scenarios where you actually want to pay tax and penalty and put it to work. And there are other scenarios where you absolutely want to roll it and invest that way, and both are options. And it gets far more granular than that, but that's really in the follow-up. The team puts a lot of time into making sure we understand your circumstance. But so the answer is yes, we do those things. Yes, that's probably what 80% of our investing comes down to, is our ability to maneuver into reinsurances and a number of the different vehicles. Go ahead.
Okay,
I see you got your appointment card. Did you get the first one? All right, give her a round of applause. This lady knows what she wants. Okay.
and I'm getting a cash flow from that. So, I forgot my question.
All I heard was you bought 2 homes with us and you're getting great cash flow on it.
So,
I think we should clap for that one too, because that's cool. Sorry.
so you got the 2 houses, and then how, from there, from that cash flow, you take the cash flow and you build from there, from the cash flow you.
So if you're already in the program, get with your coach and have them actually do an analysis. I actually was with the Crawleys sitting in on Nathan's desk looking at 4 properties he had there, from homes that were bought, refinanceable, pull out amount. So that's our game of what we do. Yeah, so it's a good question. Absolutely. Awesome. Let's come right here. What's your name?
Chad.
Hey, Chad.
Hey, guys. Question for you. Are we setting up a Utah LLC, or if the property's in Virginia, do we have a Virginia LLC that flows the money back through Utah? Are we setting up Wyoming, Vegas?
So this is a really good question. The question is, are we setting up a Utah LLC? The answer is yes. Unless you're going to start doing more than 20 homes, we're not going to look at Delaware Corps or some of the other corporation areas where you can pick up tangible benefits. So we're just going to, if we live in Utah, we're just going to keep it straight in Utah. Yeah, excellent question. Yeah, there are specific reasons, and when you actually want to own those different entities, and real estate and the way that it passes through, through S corps and such, it's usually more beneficial to keep it simple that way.
If we have 2 properties, the 2 separate LLCs, are they going to be
Thank you. The question is, if we have 2 properties, do we have 2 LLCs? That comes down to a risk management question, or whether or not we want to invest in a series LLC, and we do both of those. So again, the good questions. Yeah.
You have financing.
Wait, what's your name?
Carol,
Hey, Carol.
do you have financing available, or do your buyers just go find what they can find?
This is a really good question. So when I decided to put a whole team together that could make this happen, we started our own real estate brokerage, our mortgage brokerage, property management company, all of these ancillary companies required in real estate. I was going nuts trying to juggle all of these different people from different companies and trying to get them to understand my philosophy and work as a team equals lots of extra work. Because my team are all in-house under one roof, they'll put in on average 341 hours per home, and most of that you won't even know about, because they get the strategy, they get the philosophy, and they're working. Even though they've got their firewalls, they work as one team. I just don't know. I don't know why more people haven't thought of this. For leverage, it makes life so much better and easier. It's a great question. Answer is yes.
All right, so I come from a long line.
What's your name?
I'm David.
Hey, David.
Long line of skeptics. My friends are skeptics. My family, my ancestors are skeptics. So
We've got some
what do
generational
I
work to do.
when they say Strasbourg is a
Oh.
How do I explain?
So first of all, so he's saying that my family comes from a long line of skeptics. I just want to help you for I'm going to help you what I can. I'm going to help you what I can. If you go to our company's website, we're going to have you downloaded pages of documents of proof and track record. And if the track record and information we have just doesn't get you over the natural skepticism, I'm just telling you, it's not going to be a fit. And for partnering, it's definitely not. So the question is how do I go to them? Because I know you, dude. You're a good dude. The question is, how do you go and talk to skeptical people? You either don't, or you get some new friends, or this real estate community, for someone that's really serious about partnering, I'm going to say, come get educated and learn this stuff. Because in the beginning, it's bring someone to a meeting like this and let me and my team sit down and we have all this knowledge. But ultimately, if you would like to be a multimillionaire in real estate and quicker, then I'm going to invite you to go a step further and educate yourself and sit and network and learn how to talk the talk and really have a great personal comprehension of how it all works.
I can find your track record on your website.
Yes. We post it all. Yeah. We post our track records, all those things. Yeah. Yep, Stromberg.com has it. Done For You, Real Estate USA has it. Okay, just a couple more questions.
Okay, I remember the question.
Oh, good, you remember. But you didn't tell me your name. That's why you forgot your question.
Patty.
Hey, Patty.
Okay, so I use my equity, I buy 2 houses. What happens if I just want to be a passive? What do you guys do? And how do I know that's going to be a cash flow? The question, I guess, is what's my part if I choose to be passive?
This is a great question. At some point, your questions are going to get very personal. Can you sense the personal nature of well, we're going to get into the what if land. What if I have money to roll over? What if I have equity sitting in a home and I want to buy 2 of these? And that's why we actually have a Pathfinder meeting. It's because you need your own specific game plan. And every one of you, no 2 game plans in this room are going to look alike. And that's why we need to customize the process to make sure that my team understands not just those 2 basic elements you shared, but the rest of your background so that we can give you good, intelligent answers. So that session is really going to help make a lot more sense of that. So I appreciate that. Friends, I want to thank you for coming tonight. I appreciate you being here. I know it's been hot, uncomfortable. We'll try to do some better forecasting in the future. You're welcome to stay and ask questions. What we're going to do right now is Gary, do we know if Stephen and James which hall are we basically in? Okay, so Stephen and James, everyone's looking, they're down this hall. And Stephen and James, until I can see them, thank you. You guys have these, right? Okay, so what'll happen is you're all gonna wanna grab one of these on the way out, but then if you want to have a meeting to discuss any of these options, I'm gonna invite you to have a one-on-one meeting with them. And they will open up their calendars right now and set that up for you. Just to be really clear, when you go and speak to them, they're going to ask you to check a box. What do you want to learn about? If you say, I want to know more about Done For You, this is a really good thing for you to meet with them about if you meet these 2 criteria. Does this make sense? If you don't meet these 2 criteria, you don't want to know about this option. Just because you're just going to sit and have a great info session and they can email you some information. If you check the box, the real estate community, that would be for anyone that says, I really want to know how I can get my education to a level where I can just transact all different kinds of real estate, do a lot of real estate, and access the team both passively and hands-on, train personally with Chris and the team, and get that partnering for life. And if you check the partnering box, it's because you're saying, I think I currently might have the means to partner and I'm interested in that. If you want to be one of my business partners, who wants to be one of the business partners, then what we're going to do is we're going to let you know when the next meeting is because we're having roughly 2 a month. And we'll just do better space planning or switch venues if we need to. But we are going to ask a favor of you. Register your guests. That will help us do better space planning. And so if you want to bring more people to meetings like this, all of you are registered. So we're going to send an email out and let you know the next time and the next location when we're having these. And that way, we'll probably have another one in the next couple of weeks here, so roughly 2 or more a month. So we'll get you on the calendar, let you know when those are. Just do this, though. You all have an opportunity to get this program for life. Does everyone see that? So you'd only want to get this program for life if what?
If you want to use it.
If you think any time in your life you're going to meet people that you can introduce and have the conversation of real estate with our team with, and buy real estate with no money and no credit. And that's how I built my wealth, and take everything away from me. And I don't know how to not be a millionaire.
But you've got to have $80,000.
No, you don't have to. Just people you know. And you'd be surprised how many people have no money in the bank account, but have been dutifully putting their money in 401ks, IRAs, and things that will never get them where they want to be. Yeah. This is the biggest takeaway for me when I made this decision, is that the 30-year-olds were optimistic. The 40-year-olds were busy. The 50-year-olds were nervous. The 60-year-olds were terrified. And the 70-year-olds were crotchety. So don't do that. All right, friends, thank you for coming tonight. Go talk to our team here and they'll get you squared away. Thanks.
Chris, it's so good to see you again.
I know, it's been a long time.
It's been a couple inches since I saw you, man. You look good.
Thanks.
Still.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, it has been a while, man. She's busy, but it's still here. Yeah, you too, man. It's really, I saw Colleen, months ago, but like a month or so. And,
Follow every step, every road, every single trace. Analyzing, try to figure out those lines up on your face. You're still a mystery, those secrets kept away from me. Those doors are closed, closed, closed. How can you make the fire burn so brightly when you're so cold, cold, cold? Never as lonely as together with you, still together with you is where I wanna be. It makes no sense. Never felt happiness together with you, still together with you is where I wanna be.